Hello guys, welcome to Servlet tutorial. Today we shall see a Java web application to demonstrate or to apply all three listeners, and those listeners are HttpSessionListener, ServletContextListener and ServletRequestListener on already created 61 HTTP session with cookies app 2. And please refer this tutorial because I'm going to use same web application source code and I'm going to perform the following operation with on this web application 61 session HTTP session with the cookies app 2. So here I'm going to perform the operations. I want to keep the track or record of each request processing duration or the time. Also, I want to give the track of each client session duration or the time. Also, if you want to track the deployment and undeployments, or you can call when the application gets started, when the application gets stopped, and the duration and timings of your applications, then these operations to perform, we need to take the help of listeners, and those listeners are session listener, context listener, and request listener. So please, I request you go through the previous sessions. So let me go to my previous session. So here cookies, and here you'll find page down, Control Shift W, forward wrap, page down. So here scroll. So I'm going to use same. So this is the applications. Also I need the table. So this is our applications tutorial number 196, and here we learned about how to perform session handling or session tracking or management using HTTP session with the cookies. And here we work with the database and NetBeans ID, and it contains tables, database tables, and these are the informations. Okay, so let me get this context root name. So first of all, let me create the context root name. So here I pasted, and I'll change this to already created. I copied the pasted and this application name. So I'll give this name to here 63 Servlet Listener app. 63 Servlet Listener app. This app contains, so ready our previous tutorial. So to perform these operations in this tutorial, to perform these operations like tracking the request processing durations as well as session time or duration and deployment and undeployments of your web application, please keep this application ready. I'm going to use same deployment directory structure and same resources, or you can call web resource programs of the web application. This application contains a table whose name is information, and it contains columns like name, address, age, experience, skills, city and salary. Okay boss, fine. So let us proceed for deployment directory structure. This deployment directory structure contains personal.html as a welcome page or home page, you can call, and under this you'll find one WEB-INF directory. Under this I'm going to use web.xml file. Under the classes you will have FirstServlet, SecondServlet and ThirdServlet.java, and lib file contains a jar file, star.jar file. The jar files may be for Oracle or maybe for MySQL, but in the previous tutorial I work with the MySQL, so I will use MySQL-connector-version.jar version.jar, and so add the jar and test the web applications. This we'll see later on. These steps I will keep at the bottom. Okay, also we need to add those listeners. So to add those listeners, so I'll go with the so guys, I need to add those better to add remove. So Control C and 3. So here I will add those listeners apart from first servlet, second servlet and third servlet. So let me add those listeners here from the following step, and those listeners are session listener dot session listener. Then after session listener, we'll add context listener. Then context listener. Then we'll have request listener also. We'll have a request listener also. Okay, guys, fine. These three are my own created listeners, and these are already created app contents. Okay, fine. So, guys, the first step, keep this web application ready. Keep this web application ready. Which one is 61 session with the cookies, HTTP session with cookies app 2 in your server. Okay, and create the table. So I'm going to create this app 63 Servlet Listener app. I will change the context root name. So we need to develop 3 user defined listeners under the classes folder or classes directory. Okay, and I'll give the name of this file as a 63 Servlet Listener app. So here is 63 Servlet Listener app, and I will change this to 63 Servlet Listener app. Okay, fine. So guys, let us see now. First of all, let me create the Java web application. Already I created here, you can see. Otherwise, let me create once again. So delete this already created. So yes, I want to delete. So deleted. So file menu, new project, Java web application, hit the next. So give the name 63, this already exists. Okay, 1, hit next. So here Tomcat, Java EE6, no, Java EE5. Okay, hit next and hit finish. I'll change this name to 1. So here is 1 because already I created. So I'm going to change this one to 1. Also here also 1. Okay, fine. Let me copy all the resources from 61 web pages. Under C you will find personal.html. So let me open personal.html. This is technique 3. So I will use this. First of all, let me remove this index.jsp. So delete. So deleted, and copy this personal and paste to web pages. Pasted. So this personal.web pages contains this. So let me add the label title, that is events and listeners in Servlet. Events and listeners in Servlet. Okay guys, so let me change here events and listeners in Servlet. Okay, with HTTP session with cookies. So Java web application to work with the events and listeners in Servlet as well as HTTP session tracking or session handling. HTTP session tracking or HTTP session handling. So I'm going to work with technique 3, HTTP session with the cookies. Okay, fine boss. So dynamic form page with dynamic contents and in-memory cookies. So here I'm going to use one horizontal line, so it contains HR tag, and the operations, like I'm going to see the operations. So let me add those operations here. So those operations, I want to keep the track of request session and servlet context properties. Okay boss, fine. Here you'll find FURL form, FURL, enter name, then age, and then address. Okay guys, so you'll find here web.xml file. So scroll down on this web.xml file. Let me change to welcome file name to from index.jsp to personal.html. Okay, fine. Okay boss, fine. So this is my web page. Okay guys, so I did copy the code So next I need to add the servlets. I need to add these servlets, first servlet, second servlet and third servlet. So go to source packages of 61 cookies app2 and copy first servlet, second servlet, third servlet. So right click, let me copy and scroll down on the source packages, right click, paste. So expand it, you will find first servlet. I'm not going to use here WebServlet annotation, so commented, and this is the code. So try to read the request parameter values, create HTTP session object, set the attribute in HTTP session. Then I kept one system.out.println. Okay, as it is. So then skill details. So better, let me scroll left so it will be visible to you. Then contains one table. This is logic to generate dynamic form page. Then table contains experience and skills. After that you will find a submit button. Okay boss, fine. Let me go to my second servlet. Here is my second servlet. On the second servlet also I don't need annotation web servlet, and here also I don't need annotation web servlet because already I will configure these servlets here. Okay, fine. So second servlet contains process request, read the request parameter values which has been generated by dynamic form page of first servlet, and get access of existing session object. Then write these attributes in a session, then generate. Then this is my just system.out.println. So guys, so here, okay, fine. Then generate dynamic form page. Okay, fine. It contains font, form, action, TURL. TURL is the URL pattern of third servlet, and it contains preferred city and expected salary and form input type submit and tables and end of form tag. So did I end here form anywhere? No, I didn't end. So we need to end somewhere. HTML table, then before table and the form tag, okay, fine. Then go to first servlet. Here also check, here also it didn't end, so end of form tag. So guys, so here form tag end. Go to third servlet. I'm not going to use web servlet, so I'll configure those web servlet annotation. In this process request you will find try to read the request parameter values, then get access to existing session object, then try to read the form 1 and form 2 data from session attributes. And here is my JDBC code. This is for MySQL, driver class name and URL, JDBC URL, username and password and database. So this is for Oracle. If I'm working with Oracle, insert into info table values. So let me go to my third servlet here also. I think here also I need to go with values. So how it worked at the time I don't know. Okay guys, so this is my third servlet. So here I commented, scroll down, okay, fine. So set string, execute update, and try to display form 1, form 2, form 3 data. Okay, fine. Then database one out.println statements. So here up to here form one data, form one request one data. Okay, and from here you'll find form 2 data, you'll find form 3 data, and one confirmation message, data inserted successfully, and person, this is if any issues occurred, insertion failed. Then same, try again, click here to go to home page, third solid, then go, let me go check with here also source packages what I made here. So third solid, so here also values. So guys, session ID now fine. So this is my application ready, almost application ready. Now what I need to do, we need to add the jar, so scroll down, we need to add the jar, so add the jar. So right click on libraries, so add jar, so select MySQL-connector-java, open. So this jar is adding, so it has added. So expand libraries, you will find this jar, MySQL-connector-java, find minimize, and go to web.xml. Now it's time to configure your solids. So let me go to my solids. So here is my solid, and under this you'll find solid name, end of the solid name, and you need to work with the solid class, so end of solid class. After this, here I will use F, and here is my first solid, page up, so I will use this name, and here I need to go with mapping, solid mapping, then here I need solid name, then I need to work with URL pattern, end of URL pattern. So here what is the URL I mentioned here, so F URL, so I will use the same URL, so I copied and paste here. So this is the first solid, let me add another 3 solids, so get this copy, Control C, pasted for second solid, pasted for third solid. So here I'll change, this is my first solid, so I'll change this to yes, and I'll go to second solid, page up, this is the second solid, so here copy, web.xml, Control V, here is yes, and here is yes URL. Okay, now go to third solid, page up, so this is my third solid, copy, go to web.xml, scroll down, here is T, change to third solid, here is T, and here is TURL, so this is the TURL. Okay, fine boss. So go to web.xml and just verify once, solid mapping, TURL, T, solid name, third solid, then yes URL, yes, second solid, yes, then go to solid mapping, F, first solid, F. Okay guys, and welcome file list, personal.html. Here not 30 minutes, so I want to keep here for 3 minutes, so let me use in comment line. So here comment line, session timeout period to 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, boss. Fine. So after this, we need to add the session listener, then Servlet context listener, then request listener. Okay, fine. Okay, boss. Fine. Let us add now. So go to your web application and where is your under the source package, right click, new. You can go for Java class or you can go for Solid also, both are similar. So Servlet, I want to use the Servlet first, session listener. So get this name, session listener, copy. So copy and go here, paste, Control V, pasted. Hit the next and don't need this URL. Okay, we'll configure this later on. Otherwise, do one thing. If you go to web.xml, that this will be added. So scroll up, listener. So this is not the listener. Actually, it's let me remove first. Actually, I don't want to add this listener. So delete. Okay, fine. Let me add with the Java class better. New Java class. So whose name is my session listener. Hit the finish. Okay, fine guys. So here let me extends by using HttpServlet javax.servlet.htp.servlet and I need to implement HTTP session listener. You can see here we need to override the methods though. So let's override the methods, implement all abstract methods. So implemented now. So public void session created which contains session event and session destroyed. Okay, which throws the exceptions. So first of all, let me create the tab elements. So long start time and let me go for end time. Okay, fine. So I don't want to throw anything. So guys, session listener, and then let me write here system.out.println messages. Out.println. I want to show these messages onto my server console. So here where I am now, I am in my session listener. So here let me use session created method. Okay, fine. Session created method. Okay guys, so let me use the start time and let me get the system dot current time in millis. So let me get the session object So get session object. So HTTP session, javax.servlet.http session, get the object, and here is my servlet event dot get session. So here I got the session reference. Then let me get the servlet context object. So get servlet context object. So here is my servlet context javax.servlet. So here let me add here sc and get servlet context. Here I got servlet context object. So why I received is to get access to servlet context object. Get access to servlet context object. We need to extend our class from HTTP servlet class. Okay boss, fine. Okay, fine. Then next let me write the context. So let us write the log messages. So write log messages. So servlet context dot log. So here let me keep here the log. Session is started at, let me use here start time, otherwise new date java.util.date. Okay boss, fine. Now this is the and in the destroyed method we'll go for, so let me use the same. So I'll use here system.out.println, not session created method, session destroyed method. Then I need to get with the end time. So here is my end time. So instead of start time I'll use here end time. Then here I got end time. Then get the session object. Then we need to get the servlet context object also. So get it here. So after this we need to add, let's write the log messages. So here let's write the log messages. So instead of session started, let me write here session ended at new date. Then let me keep here one more log, sc.log servlet context.log and here let me keep the message. So plus servlet.get attribute. I want to get the attribute. What are the attribute names? So servlet context. So session, I want to get the session object.session. So I don't have, so here let me get the object dot get attribute. What are the attributes? So here you'll find first servlet, So let's get the attribute names. So what the attributes are available? Name is there. So here is my name plus so name, then user is there in session for, let me keep the message here, for how much millisecond of time. So let me convert end time minus start time. Okay, fine. End time minus start time, and let me use there for milliseconds. For milliseconds. Okay guys, so this is my solid context. So fine, done. Now we have added successfully session listener. Now we need to add the context or request, so we'll add this my servlet context listener. So copy, go to your NetBeans, so right click, new Java class, so give the name my solid context listener, hit the finish, and let me remove these comment lines. So let me extend my class, extends HttpServlet, as well as it implements Servlet context listener, Servlet context listener. I need to override the methods, so click here, then implement all abstract methods. So implemented now, and let us go for writing the logic. So where is my listener, my session listener? So I need this as it is. So I'm in my context listener. So context initialize method. Okay, fine. So here also let me keep the message, and context destroyed method. Okay guys, so let me add here. Fine, so I need to get the time also. For this purpose I need again start time and end time, same logic here also. So you need to get the time, so get the solid context object, get solid context object. So to get the solid context object, so here is your solid context object guys. So let me add here solid context object. Yes, hit OK, pasted, and just write the log messages, and write the log messages. sc dot context path. Let me get the context path here. So here is get context path. get context path, then here of web application is deployed or restarted or reloaded at the time. It will show the time. Okay, fine. So date, new date. So next, similarly here also we need to work with end time. So let me get the time first here. So here is my start time, then system dot current time minutes. So start time, I want to get the same, so scroll down. So I want to get the current time, so end time. Then after this I want to work with the solid context object, so get the solid context object. So solid context object, and I want to write the log message. So here, so write the log messages. So is undeployed or undeployed or reload or stopped at new date. Okay guys, so again, so let me get the time again. Okay guys, so here, yes, see, solid context dot get context path. So here let me get the context path, get context path, then web application is running. Here is web application is running mode for. So let me remove this stuff. For end time and start time. So here is my end time. Okay guys, so end time and start time. So here I'm trying to show the end time and start time. Fine, and it's at last done guys. So let me add this node point here. For these two. This method will be called. So this method will be called when or called or executes when new HTTP session object is created. Session object is created, and this destroy method will be executed, will be called executes when HTTP object is created. Here destroyed. So let me go to my session listener, and here also let me add the comment line when the solid context object is created. and here this method will be called or executes when servlet context object is destroyed. Context object is destroyed, is about to destroy. Is about to destroy. Okay guys, so now we added now servlet context, my servlet context. Now it's a time to add request. I want to track with the request, so add the request listener. So right click here on the source packages, new Java class, and give the name my request listener. Hit the finish. So here new, not new, extend http servlet and implements servlet request listener, servlet request listener. Okay boss, but you need to override the methods, so click here, implement all abstract methods. Okay guys, so here I need same stuff. I'll go here, so I need long time, so my request listener. Okay, fine. So here also, so not HTTP session object, so here let me write here your request object, that may be solid request or maybe HTTP solid request. Here also HTTP solid request object is destroyed. Okay guys, so here I don't need this drawing, here also I don't need this drawing. Okay, so I need long time and start time, so similarly I'll go with the long time and start time. So I need system.out.println. So here I'll paste these two, my request listener and request created, request destroyed, control chat. Okay, fine. Request destroyed method, control X, control C, control B. So request initialize. Okay, so here I don't need. So here is my end time, so I need to get this end time. So here is the end time. Okay, fine. So actually control X, so I need to paste here control X, and here is created. Fine, request object is created. Fine guys, so start time and start time in milliseconds, my request listener, and here I will change to my request listener and my request listener. Okay, request initialize, request destroyed. Fine, current time in minutes. So let us go to now destroy. Let us go to now destroys. In the destroys end time, so we need to get the request objects. So get here, get request object. To get request object, you can go for servlet request. Servlet request SC, or let me call here So guys, so HTTP Servlet, so you can go for either generic Servlet also. Control chat. So yeah, I'm working with the Servlet request. So here HTTP Servlet request. So you can see here HSR, then Servlet request event dot get Servlet request. So here I got Servlet request. So what the issue? Do one thing, Servlet request, yes sir. Yes sir, dot get Servlet request. What's the problem with this? I need to typecast simply. So typecast here Servlet request. Okay, fine. So here Servlet request. This is my normal Servlet request and this is HTTP Servlet request. So here I got both. So why this is creating issues? Extends. Okay, fine. Now done. So here I got request object, fine. Then let me add here, let me get the Servlet context object. So get access to Servlet context object. So Servlet context sc, then Servlet request event, then get Servlet context. So here I got Servlet context. Then let me write the log messages. Let's write the log messages, and so here sc.log. So Servlet request plus dot, let me get this get Servlet path, get Servlet name or get Servlet path plus, and has taken time. So here I can end time minus start time, end time minus start time, plus let me add here milliseconds. So I think this may not be visible, so let me milliseconds to process request. Okay boss, fine. Boss, so this is done. So better So here servlet request event. So HTTP servlet request, then SRE. Okay, fine. Get servlet request, SREQ. Either you can work with servlet request or you can work with directly HTTP servlet request. Fine, boss. Request initialized and request destroyed. Fine. So this is the logic. Servlet context log get servlet request, get servlet path. It has taken time. So time will be displayed in milliseconds to process the current request. Okay, boss. Now I added all three listeners: session listener, context listener, and request listener. And let's configure all three listeners in web.xml file. So go to web.xml file. So this is my web.xml file. So under this, let me configure. I don't want this my listener mapping. Remove. Anywhere else. This is for FURL. Yes. Servlet mapping, and this is for. Okay, guys. So up to here, mapping, servlet, mapping, servlet, and mapping and servlet. Then it's a time to configure. Let us configure now. Let us configure the listeners. So you have to use the listener tag. Listener. And then listener. Under this listener, add the listener class. Listener class. So close the listener class. So here you can see your listener class names. What are the listener class names? My session listener. I will use the same name. Copy and go to web.xml file. My session listener. Then like this, configure for another two. Go for ServletContextListener. My ServletContextListener. Go to web.xml file. Then go to request listener. Page up. Request listener. Go to web.xml file. And my request listener. So here I configured all the listeners. Okay. Listeners. Fine. Now after adding all the listeners, now test the web application. Test the web applications and observe the current day's logs file in Tomcat logs. So meanwhile, let me open that Tomcat log. So I think I have configured external Tomcat. So study software. So 4 IDs. So Tomcat and Tomcat 7. So go to logs. So today's logs. Today it has not started yet, Tomcat. So this is up to yesterday. Catalina. Okay guys, let us start now. So run this application. Right click, run. Why it is showing the error? Let me check. It is showing that failed error deploying the descriptor file. So child tag is missing somewhere. Child tag is missing. Let me check. Let us verify web.xml file once again. So session config, session timeout period, session config, then welcome file list, personal.html, servlet mapping. Where is my first servlet? I think I deleted, right? Oh. So deleted by mistakenly. So let me configure here once again. Home, and here is my f, and here is the first servlet. Okay. Yes, now you can see here startup failed due to previous errors. Now context initialize method and context destroyed. Okay, fine guys. So you can see here. So let me rerun once again. So cancel. Let me check here once again. So here is my servlet name. First servlet, F URL, yes second servlet, yes URL, T third servlet, T URL, my session listener, my context listener, and my request listener. Okay guys, so let us run this application. Go to Tomcat log. Window, reset Windows. So guys, projects, and in the window I'm looking for output window, tools, output window. Run. So guys, let me show you that Windows. Where is that others? Actually, so guys, let me go to my server. Deployed successfully or not? So localhost 8080. So manager, and hit the okay. Where is my 61, 63 servlet listener app 1? So start. Let me check any issue. Previous errors. Servlet context initialized and destroyed again. Why? It's not started it. Use server log. So let us see the server log. What the issue? Get Servlet context generic Servlet null pointer exceptions on listener instance of a class my Servlet context listeners. So get Servlet context generic Servlet. So go to my Servlet context listener. So here don't extend this, so save it Servlet context my Servlet context. Okay, fine. Once you save and then scroll down. So guys, initially I made like this for like this. Okay, fine. So Control C, Control V. I don't want to use here. Don't use here. Actually, generic Servlet is the super class. So Control S. Let me check here. What the issue? Get Servlet context. Next, here also what the issue I made. Get the listener name. So here is SCE dot get Servlet context list. Get Servlet context. Save it. Is there an issue still? Let me check here. Go to projects. No issue. So let me restart again. Run the web application. Go to Tomcat log. Scroll down. So class cast exception Servlet request event cannot be cast to HTTP Servlet request. So let me check where is my request. Servlet, now go to session context request listener. It is not allowing me to cast. It is not allowing me to cast. Okay, fine. So here what I have to do, it's not allowing me to cast. So remove, save it, Control Z, Control C, and then yes. So let me check here what the issue I made here in my study practice programs. So is my advanced Java. So let's page down. So Servlet request listener, open with addr plus. So scroll down. That's it. Here also I might same stuff. So what the hell? Servlet request event, then get servlet request, and then HTTP request, typecast is SRE2, get servlet request, okay. So you can see here guys, so reloaded. Every time reloaded, you can see the log messages. So let me restart again, rerun. And you can see in Tomcat log. Again, it's showing that cannot cast. javax.servlet request event cannot cast to javax.servlet.http.servlet request. Simply I can get I will work with now here yes REQ. If this doesn't work, this should work. Okay, fine. I'll do one thing. So here I will typecast to REQ. Okay, and here I'll get HTTP servlet request. This should work. Servlet request context is not required. Actually, fine. Let us check here. And try to rerun the application. Run. Budget Tomcat log and successfully launch, and observe the Tomcat server log. Observe the Tomcat server log. You can see here application gets started. It has taken around this may zoom works or not. You can see here it is in running mode. It's in running mode, and you can see here it has taken 4717 milliseconds, means 4 seconds and 700 milliseconds, and the application gets deployed, restarted, reloaded. And let me give the request to my Servlet program, and parallelly let me open my SQL yoke, hit the continue, connect, and let me open the database table, info table data. Okay, fine. So guys, let me run the application now. So here personal page. So Java application to work with events listeners in servlets. So event listeners in servlets, technique 3. So I can able to track this durations. So guys, I need to go for changing the personal.html. So here is my personal.html, and here I'll keep here break tag and refresh. Okay boss, so I want to track here request processing time, session time, and I want to track deployment, reloaded, stopped, or undeployed about your web applications. So here I want to enter the details, like I want to enter the details. So details like, suppose I'm entering here Shruti, and enter the age. If I enter here age is suppose 45, 47, then enter the address. Suppose if I enter here Umarga, hit the continue. Now for this request, how much time it has taken, you can see here. So scroll down, what the issue has made, let me check. Null pointer exception, generic servlet. So servlet listener 3 exception. Which servlet class? My session listener class. So my session listener class, go to my session listener class. And where it has through the exception, let's check it. If I remove the extents, then so even though if I remove, you will get the error here. Here I could not get the object, so could not remove here. Control check. So guys, let me check here. Go to classes, where it has thrown error, in which class. So the class name is my session listener. So let me launch my session listener. Start time, session, servlet context, get servlet context. Anyhow, do we need session here? Are we taking the help of any session here in the session? Okay, fine. Anyway, let me complete the application first. So number of years of experience, suppose if I enter here 20 on the Java and .NET, hit the continue. Yes, I expected same. Second servlet, do post, null pointer exception, through an exception that is null. What the issue I made here? Otherwise, let me get the code from here. Okay, fine. So classes, I will use here request, get time in milliseconds. So I will add this code. This is for request. Go to my request listener. I'm going to do all the stuff as it is. So my request listener implements servlet request listener, then let me go to my next let me go to session listener. I'll get the same file, so here, which extends HTTP servlet and implement HTTP session listeners. So I'll get the same code. So have the look. So session listener, my session listener. So scroll up. Then I will add the context also. Session request, and let me add the context also. Where is my context? So this is my context, which implements Servlet context listener. Okay. Servlet context listener. So rerun the application. What the issue may raise, we'll see. 1 second. Run. Apache Tomcat log. So you can observe the output here. So personal.html has taken 0 milliseconds of time. So let me rerun again. So this is my personal.html. So I'm entering here Shruti and age. Suppose if I enter 47, enter the address. If I enter Umarga, then hit the gun, continue. Then you can see on the server console, again same issue, generic servlet, it's showing null. if URL has taken 6 milliseconds of time to process a request, and okay. The issue with this, actually, we have set only 30 minutes of time with the web.xml file. So where is my web.xml file? 3 minutes, right? I will change to 10 minutes. Save. 10 minutes time. So I change to 10. So I changed here 10. So right guys, so rerun the application. So let me enter here. Hit the continue. Suppose if I enter at 20, here I selected .NET. Continue. Then here I enter the preferred city. If I enter here Mumbai, and salary, suppose some salary. Hit the continue. And you can see on server console that issue was raising just because of I kept very less time for my web.xml file. It is 3 minutes. Earlier I kept for 3 minutes, now I kept for 10 minutes. Okay, and within 3 minutes it was expiring. So I made 3 minutes to 10 minutes. And let me check on my server console log messages. So where are the logs? So where is today's date? This is the today's date. So open it, Catalina. So where is my localhost? 30. So this is today's date, localhost to 2020 4:30. So right click, open, and these are the exception which has raised. Let me scroll down, and you can see the messages. So you can see here. So if I maximize, and you will come to know. So third servlet has taken 804 milliseconds. Second servlet has taken 4 milliseconds to process the request, and first servlet has taken 8 milliseconds. Okay, fine. And personal.html has taken 1 milliseconds to process the request. Okay boss, fine. And for information, web application test running mode, and it has taken 5668 milliseconds of time. And suppose if I destroy the session, so let me destroy the session, stop the session forcefully, and go to the localhost. So these are the errors. So let me close this, all the stuff, and here is my localhost 8080. Let me manager app, and another manager app, let me here 61. This is the session. Okay, if I reload, so parallel you need to observe here onto the server console. So let me close, and let me reload once again. So guys, let me reload from here, and do observe here after highlighting this, how much time it will take to reload. So reloaded application at context path. So do observe here. So let me scroll down, and you can see here after this highlighting. So where is my message? The message is information 63. Web application is undeployed or reloaded or stopped. It is stopped, and web application is in running mode for how many seconds? For 17,000 1,70,438 milliseconds, and again it has been deployed. Okay, fine. So let me open that log files, today's log file. So properties, let me change to edit text, edit plus, so apply. Okay, so guys, so let me open this log file and page down. So definitely 1 o'clock, and Control Shift W. So expire, session has been expired now. It is in running mode, and if I show you the Tomcat server console, so scroll down, and it threw the exception because session time is expired. Session time is expired, guys. So this is the practical proof. This is a practical proof that session is tried to access and session tried to access, but session is not available. Session is not available. So in this way, you can able to understand how much time has been taken for each request. So let me get those time. So f URL. So let me copy for your information. Just observe the output, test the application, do observe the output, server console, and let me get this log also for second URL after running. So lots of hurdles were made. I'll show the code once again. Wait, hold on. So actually the mistake was I made very less time. I have made very less time for session, and the session was invalidating within 3 minutes of time. So because of that issue, so solid context for milliseconds. So now, okay, fine. Again, if I reload the browser, restart the browser and give the request, so you can go and test the web application here. So data is inserted here, this record, and I want to try once again. So here localhost, refresh, session invalidated now. Okay, fine. So Control C, it is running mode now. Try from browser. So parallelly do observe the output. So from Tomcat console also, NetBeans Tomcat console. I want to show this Tomcat server console also. Okay guys, so let me hit here personal.html, or directly also if you click here you will get. So scroll down. So personal.html has taken, request has taken 1 milliseconds of time, and I'm entering here. Suppose enter here Gani Yogesh and enter the age. If I enter here 30, experience if I enter 9, continue, you can see here. So it has taken, first URL has taken 12 milliseconds of time. If I enter here again 15, then PHP, continue, then again let me scroll down, it has taken 15 milliseconds of time. If I enter the city, suppose Mumbai, and some salary has been entered, continue, and it has taken TURL has taken 754 milliseconds. Now let me reload the application. Control Z. So localhost, so manager app, and so let me reload 63. So reload. For reloading test sec, it has taken web application deployed. It is running mode. You can see here stopped home. So guys, you can see this log messages. So guys, now you can see guys web application ID. Now this is the ID and how much time has been taken for what reloaded. Now I want to stop the session. I want to know the session. So session, let me refresh. So null. Okay, fine, because request has been lost and trying to store the data. Okay, fine. Yogesh request 2 times. Here I received null and null because I made refresh. Okay boss, fine. And see the Tomcat server console. Scroll down. So TURL has taken this much of time, guys. So this is the practical proof. So do observe the output. Do observe the output. Okay, fine. So just have the till then have the look at the code once again. What are the changes or what are the copy paste I made here? It was my mistake. That is, guys, here I made session timeout period. Actually, earlier code was also correct. Earlier code also was correct, guys. Don't get freaky. Actually, I made three minutes of time. Now I changed to 10 minutes. Please be careful. So here your session should not end before your events should close. So go to first, let me show you one by one. First, let me go to my request or let me go to my session listener. Scroll up. You can see here what it contains. Session listener contains HTTP Servlet, extend HTTP Servlet and HTTP session listener, and start time, long time, session created, then my session listener, session created, then session Servlet context, okay. Session started, sc.log, then here session destroyed. So this is the session. Okay, fine. Session.get attribute name user, there is in session for current time in millis. Okay boss, fine. So this is the code which belongs to my session listener. Just have a look. I'm scrolling up. So let me go for now. So just go to now after session listener. Let me go to now context listener. So this is the context listener. So new date, then date. So here long time, end time, start time, end time, start time, Servlet context, get Servlet context, then get Servlet context path, get context path, deployed, restarted, then here context destroyed, then let me give the is in running mode for so and so milliseconds. Okay, fine. This is the code which belongs to my Servlet context. Okay boss, fine. Let us proceed for now. Request listener, my request listener. So this is my request listener. So scroll down, request listener, request initialize, start time, current millisecond, request, and HTTP Servlet request, then here end time millisecond to process the request. Okay boss, and final test your application. Okay guys, fine. Thank you for watching as well as for patience. Just because of my silly mistake, it took I spent more than half an hour time to rectify it. Not half an hour, 10 to 20 minutes, 10 minutes of time. Because of session time output is 10 minutes I made. Let me go to my Servlet context log file. So where is my log? Page down. Okay, fine boss. So let me check the session. So still used time inactive for 5 minutes and time to leave for 4 minutes and 46 seconds. So I have to wait until it has to finish. Okay guys, so just do observe the output. This is the output. Then how much time has been taken. So I hope you have learned about how much time need to taken by the appropriate request, then deployed, undeployed, and restarted. Session is in waiting, so I have to wait for session. So once session destroys, then we'll see the session destroyed. Let me check in Tomcat. So in the console, Control F, session. So I have to wait session has to end for next 10 minutes. So guys, this is the example Java web application to work with the events and listeners in servlets. Thank you.